Good day. Wish you a happy and prosperous new year. Welcome to Supply Chain India, episode 12. Indian maritime history is ancient and rich also. We traded with the world. Indians settled down in faraway lands on account of trading. That was then. Today, you do business while sitting at home. I mean, from India. Purnachandra Reddy from Hyderabad is one such personality. This mechanical engineer from IIT Madras helps Indian exporters to United States from home. Over the past 10 years, he helped Amazon and then at the startup BlackBuck. Now he is on his own.
What happens is now there are a lot of exporters who export products from India and China to US, right? So we pick up the entire container once it lands at port. So Los Angeles port, if we take an example, once the container lands in Los Angeles, we are responsible for picking up that container and taking the container to the customer's warehouse, which is locally located, unload the entire container, and then return the empty container back to the shipping liner. So this is the short transportation that we take care of.
Something like a CFS, port to CFS kind of. Is it a CF to first, port to CFS kind of an?
It is not a. No, it is not a CFS. It is not a CFS. This is customer's own warehouse.
Direct warehouse.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Correct.
buyer, basically buyer, domestic buyer.
Correct. Domestic buyer. Yeah. So a lot of it goes into Amazon. So we
It goes to Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, a lot of it goes to Amazon warehouse. We also send it. We have other customers as well who are non-Amazon.
I mean, since you said that, you move out of the port and go. Far away from the port, or like within a radius of say around 100 miles, 200 miles. What is it like?
Correct. It is 90% of it is within the radius of 100 miles. Very few cases we go out of the city.
So you avail of the vehicles from market.
Correct. We don't own any trucks. All the trucks are taken from the market.
Do we have exclusive arrangement with transporters?
No, we don't have any exclusive arrangement with any of the carriers. Even US is similar to India, where 90% of the carriers in US own less than 5 trucks. So even US is a market dominated by small truckers.
Okay, great. Okay, what is the volume of TUs? You move 20 TUs.
We do about 200 to 250 containers a month. And the market is huge. US imports around 12 million containers every year among its largest ports. So there's a lot of scope for business expansion in this field.
Are you operate only from one single port or multiple ports? Basically.
No, we operate
basically. West Coast.
We operate across 7 large ports in the US. So we are in Los Angeles, we are in New York, we are in Houston, we are in Savannah, we are in Miami. So, and we also move products from Chicago, which is more inland. So it comes through rail. So we are present across all the major locations in the US. And yeah.
Good. Your co-founder is based out of US, is it? How is it?
No. We are all based out of India. We do have a sales and business development team in the US, but all of our operations are taken care of by India. We also have some back-end employees in South America and some in Philippines as well. So because some of them can speak.
But the huge amount of business is coming from US ports. That's the one.
Yeah. The business is entirely focused in the US, is registered in the US. The business is completely present in the US. The employees are stationed across multiple locations.
Okay. Good. It's a US registered company, is it? That Eastcape.
It's a US registered entity, and we completely operate in the US.
So you being a techie, and I am sure there'll be a huge tech team, managing all those software developments and apps, gigs, vagera thing. What is it like?
So we have around 15 employees taking care of operations. We have 5 employees who take care of sales and business development, and we have another 15 employees who are in technology development.
What is the competition like? Look, if you're sitting in India, you are doing this. I'm sure, like the umpteen number of people with the same, background, tech back. Ultimately, it's a tech background with the domain expertise.
Correct.
How is the competition, particularly from, people like, the Indians? What is the competition like?
The competition is huge. Especially there are a lot of people from Punjab who are already aware of this business. Because there are a lot of Punjabi truck drivers in California, there are a lot of Punjabi truck drivers in Canada. So they are aware of managing US transportation by basing in India. So the competition is huge. What we do is we differentiate ourselves in terms of service and pricing, right? So our pricing is very competitive, and on top of it, we make sure that we are providing 100% service. So because we have this USP, there is an initial challenge in onboarding the client, but once a client comes, they prefer to stick with us.
So service matters. Basically, service is the USP.
The service matters. Yeah.
The pricing. I mean, is there certain element of undercutting?
No. There is no element of undercutting. We are not making any loss. We are perfectly profitable. We pay our own salaries. Everything happens ourselves. But we do have some amount of funding for powering the technology team that we have. But otherwise, on whole, the monthly operating expenses and everything are paid off by ourselves. So we are completely profitable in this sector.
I mean, the company is floated PE/VC funded.
Uh,
Any funding?
Yeah, angel funded.
Angel funded.
Yeah, not much of funding. We have angel funding. So we initially thought we may need a lot of funding, but over time we realized that we are able to make enough margins and enough money, and we refrain from going forward for any more funding in this field.
I mean, okay, coming back to, usually the moment you talk about transportation, you also exposed to Indian conditions. What was the, a payment? Is it very regular? You don't have to chase. What is it like? Because, from what you hear, what you told me, I understand that the major chunk of business is from Amazon. If I
Correct.
Correct. Right. Okay. What is cycle, cash flow cycle?
So actually, the problems that exist in India also exist in the US, but the degree to which the problems exist in India is too big. US is far more comfortable in those terms because people take their credit very seriously. People don't want to miss out on payments. They want to make payments in timely manner, and there is a lot of support from financial agencies in the US. The cost of capital is low, so it is easy to borrow money for working capital. And even truckers and carriers, everybody is financed. So it makes cash flow management very easy when compared to India. So you don't have to pay up the truckers in advance. Like in India, you have to pay them first because they need the money for fuel and toll. Here, that is not the case. You pay them after the delivery has happened. So,
okay, so
those kind of
payment or a certain gap. Delivery.
There's a gap. So on delivery, we expect an invoice to be sent to us, and then with some truckers who are regularly working with us, we do have payment terms. Some truckers who are new, who come on board new, we do make immediate payments to them. So we have all kinds of combinations here.
Okay, great. I mean, see, look, going by what I hear, you are doing, great guns in the US on the port side. Okay, are you looking outside US also? I mean, Mexico, sometime in South America. Okay, Europe.
No. So we are at this point we are not looking out anywhere. At this point, our focus, because like I said, right, US itself is a huge market. We are doing around 200-250 containers a month. The market size is 12 million containers an year, right? So so there's a lot of scope in US itself at this point of time. We are definitely working on technology solutions that can fit in multiple markets. May not be limited to the US itself. But core operations and business, we are more focused on the US.
So what is the size of your tech team? Since everything is being monitored, most of your staff, you said, only the marketing business development team is in the US. The rest of all
in the US, yeah. Correct. Yes.
Okay, and you said once in 2 months or something you go to US.
Yeah, I mean this year because of COVID, I've not been able to go. Otherwise, since the last 3 years, I've been spending at least 3 months in the US and remaining 9 months in India.
So look, I was hearing from a friend of mine, 2-3-4 days ago, in the UK, the customs, clears most of the stuff in just less than an hour's time, less than 30 minutes time. What is the scene like?
Correct.
Getting the documentation, freight forwarding or a documentation at the port side? Okay, what is it? What are the challenges?
Correct.
Is it as tough, as challenging as it is in India? What is it like?
No, actually not. We do have custom related delays, but we also find that a lot of paperwork is actually pretty formal, and customs are actually able to clear the container size shipments within a day. So we never face we rarely face a lot of challenge where our product is stuck because of custom clearance for more than 3-4 days. So it is not generally a norm for us. And because we are working mostly with customers who are shipping into Amazon, right? The paperwork and everything is pretty perfect, and we are aware of what products are going in. This year we did have some challenge because almost all the containers needed to be decontaminated. So that took some time, and there was a lot of backlog. So otherwise, in general market, we never faced much of a problem when it comes to customs clearance.
Yeah, like, okay, when you talk about, US and the ports and other things, I mean, one cannot help, ignoring the containerization of part of it. Okay.
Correct.
Like you see anywhere in the world, the ports are all only container kind of stuff.
Correct.
These are also the, like other open body kind of, ferry movement happening.
Correct. Yeah. So what I'm talking about, container is only limited to the ports and port cities. Otherwise, like we have 16-tonner truck and 21-tonner truck being the most common trucks in India. US has a 53-footer box truck. So open trucks are not very common in the US. It is almost 70% of it is the box trucks, which is equivalent to the 32 feet multi-axle containers in India. Just that they are bigger, but for the same loading capacity. Otherwise, other industrial products and machines are moved on flatbed open trucks. Otherwise, other than that, we generally do not have open trucks that you have to cover with a carpet or a tarpaulin and tie it out. That is not there. It is almost all closed container trucks.
How do you plan? Okay, one last question. How do you plan to scale up, or any plans to do similar? Two questions. How do you plan to scale up? Do you have India, doing a similar thing on the Indian ports? Because in India again, okay, more and more ports are getting into containerized mode. What are
Correct.
plans?
So, as much we are currently focused more on container transportation business, there is a lot of exciting opportunity in bringing the best practices that are there in the US to India. So that is an active space that I'm looking at, because I have experienced both the Indian market and the US market. And this is also the reason why I have a decently sized technology team, not because of my own business, but because of the kind of technology solutions that we want to build, which will be suitable for both India and US truckers. And it will also, and I'm also aiming at forcing some of the best practices that happen in the US and bring that to Indian trucking community as well.
Can you just cite 2 or 3 best practices which you would like to introduce in India?
Yeah, so there's a lot of exciting stuff that is happening.
Let's move to good.
Correct. So one very simple thing is every truck that we book between the broker and the carrier, right? We always sign a document called as rate confirmation. It's a legal document, and it is there for every load, which tells that I have booked this truck for so and so rate, right? And after signing that document, if you do not give the order to the trucker, you are responsible for paying a penalty of $200 for canceling the order within 24 hours, right? So there are some of these good things that happen. These kind of documentation also make the whole process very formal. And a lot of things in India are still happening using paper and pen. You're physically signing. So we want to empower the individual drivers and truckers. We want to strengthen them. Today they are today they are taken advantage of by the other powerful people just because they are financially strong. So I believe that some of these technological applications can empower the drivers and truckers to formalize the business. It is in their own advantage. So and then
on the same plan, like the relationship exists between a fleet. I mean, that transporter or a trucker and the brokers or like agents. Is it the same?
Correct.
In India, or is it something much better? Like
so,
a better relationship.
Yeah. There is one channel less. So India, we have customer, transporter, broker, and the trucker, right? So in US, the transporter and broker are one and the same, and they are called brokers. Just that the large brokers are called transporters and small brokers are called brokers. Otherwise, both transporter and broker are almost similar entity. And one good thing is that any broker has to be registered with the government of US. There are very stringent norms. So just imagine the fact that there are only 20,000 freight brokers in the US. The reason is because there are very stringent norms in becoming a freight broker. But in India, if you see, everybody and anybody can become a transporter and freight broker, which is causing a lot of competition in the market. But and these are not, they are not regulated. The main problem is that the community is not regulated. The US, there is a lot of regulation. There is a lot of regulation on the trucker. There's a lot of regulation on the broker. There's a lot of regulation on the customer. So government has made it a tight ship for everybody to coexist in a convenient manner. Whereas we see in India that because the regulation is not there, everybody tries to take advantage of the other person.
We take a short break. When we return on the other side, we catch up with Santosh Pandey from Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh. This tech-savvy gentleman has built a sizable business through tracking, just not at home, but abroad also.
Are you part of the new fleet evolution? The transition is already underway. Fleets are using data to manage smarter, keeping drivers safe, streamlining operations, keeping customers satisfied. This requires agility and the right platform. Did you know that 94% of road accidents are caused by human error? What if your drivers had an active coach, keeping them engaged and safe and reducing their stress? And what about your managers? What if you could cut their administrative workload and help them gain visibility and control of the fleet? Green Road supports you with one unified platform. Our advanced active coaching gives drivers clear feedback to help them drive more safely and efficiently, and keeps them motivated via personalized information and friendly competition. In the office, online dashboards keep the right information at your fingertips, freeing you to focus on exceptions and pressing issues. Whether you require an app, an installed solution, or other sensors, all are integrated into a single platform that helps you manage diverse operations proactively across the world. The result? Safe drivers, reduced risk, protection for your brand, and savings for your business. The Green Road platform is quick and easy to deploy at scale, even for fleets with thousands of drivers and vehicles throughout the world. Green Road.
Welcome back. You are watching Supply Chain India episode 12. Over to Santosh Pandey of Skylab Solutions to know about his tracking business.
My offering is location-based services. So anything related to GPS, RFID, the motion sensors or biometrics. So we create solution around these hardwares and we give customized solution to the customer.
Which are all the verticals you are working?
So normally our major customers are from logistics side, okay, because as I said that the GPS is a core, okay, and we have lots of real estate clients and the health.
What do you do in real estate?
So in the real estate, the platform has it's a GIS application, okay. So we do a land management and record system for the real estate. So we have a platform where the customer, the real estate company, basically they can automate their acquisition process, the land acquisition process through our application. So we do the digitization of all their parcel and all. Then once they are going to buy that land, okay, so they can digitally buy that land and do the digital agreement on that one. And then they can connect these data with their ERP or SAP, where they can integrate with the various other modules like sales or the finance. So and plus this is a very important tool for the management, real estate, the owners. So what happens, previously you must have heard lots of the story about the issue with the farmers and all, that real estate, they bought the property but they don't have access to reach that property because they never thought that this land is also important for them, because as such at that time they were using the normal paper map and the Excel sheet, okay. But here, because it's geographically seeing all your data, so on the map you can see that which area is important for you, okay. And once you have a geo data, the map data, then actually you can plan out that where to put the park, where to put the water facility, where to put the sewerage facility and all those things. So this is a very important tool for the real estate company for planning, to sell and to make this strategy.
So basically you are offering this service to all the big builders.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you operate only in NCR or you're pan-India?
All across the world, even though we have a, yeah, yes. We have given,
working overseas also?
yes. We have a customer from Uganda also. We have given some services in Russia also, in Dubai also.
Okay, you spoke about your exposure to the logistics industry.
Yes.
Can you throw light on what exactly you do in that segment?
So in the logistic industry, we have a list of the products, okay, list of the solution. I'll not say products, a list of solution what we are offering. Start from the fleet management, okay, that's the basic track and trace, okay. Then we have a very good application called depot management system.
Depot management system.
Yeah, so this is being used by the bus operators, So where state bus operator or city bus operator, okay.
Who has a sizable fleet?
Yes, sizable fleets of 50, 100, 200, 800 and all, okay. So where, like, I'll give example of Delhi. So Orange Bus, they are having our solution, okay.
Sunil from Hyderabad, is it?
No, this cluster buses are there.
Okay.
The cluster
Right,
buses.
I got it.
It's owned by the AV Greens, okay. So we sold this solution in 2012, I think, 12 or 13. So they have a various depots, okay, and all the buses, they start and end over there, okay. So we
All
have
those clusters?
Yeah, all the clusters. So we have an attendance mechanism over there. So driver attendance, bus attendance, and everything. We have a rostering, routing, the inventory part, maintenance part. So everything is managed at the depot level. So this has been used from almost 7-8 years. Now we are again deploying a new solution in the Shastri Park depot for the electric buses, So now the technologies keep on changing, okay. So now the diesel shifted to CNG, now it is a battery, okay.
Electric vehicle.
Yeah, so now in the current solution, beside the tracking, we are offering them the battery management system, the BMS part, which is the new one. It's a kind of a, very new to the market, okay, where we are showing the life of the battery and how much distance it can travel, okay. These are the alert we have configured at the back end so that operator can see and they can take the decision whether we should release the bus on the road or not, okay. Beside that, we have integrated lots of telematics input through using the CAN bus and all. So the DMS is another thing. Then we have another client, they're into the employee transportation solution, okay. So almost
People logistics.
Yeah, the people logistics. That is also one of our core area.
What is that you do in people logistics?
So
When you say people movement, people logistics,
not exact.
Or based or bus based?
No, I'm not talking about that complete the route management and all those things, because these people are having my clients, they are having fixed routes. So they have, it's again rostering, routing, trip management. Who first come, the lady should not drop at the last. Okay, these things we are monitoring in that one. Okay, so it is used by the SCL for almost 7-8 years. Okay.
HCL.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
in NCR or across India?
No, Delhi NCR.
In
Delhi NCR. Yes.
Okay. And tell me, you're also, I remember, you were talking about your exposure to mining industry. What is that you do in mining industry?
So in the mining industry, so we are registered with the ORSEC, okay?
What is that?
ORSEC, Odisha Space Research Association. It's a department basically. It's in the Odisha government. It's a nodal agency. So we are in panel vendor with them, and we are supplying this AS004 standard devices to the mine owners. So we have sold almost 30,000 devices over there. And
what exactly these devices do?
So this device is basically connected with their existing i3MS application. Okay.
What is ICMS?
i3MS. i3MS is basically it allows the operator to take the load from the mines. Okay. So normally it was offline.
It's a load management. What is that?
It's not exactly load management. The GPS allow that this is the right vehicle to get the load. Okay. Okay, so once the vehicle is reaching to the mine, if the GPS data is not coming, then they are not giving the load, okay?
Okay.
So, and once, because they have a list of registered vehicles, okay? So all the registered vehicles should have a GPS. So beside this load, they are monitoring route, means after the load, because they have to go to a specific area only. So whether they are following this route or not, so those things also they
Something
are monitoring.
like a geofencing.
Geofencing. It's a geo-routing basically.
Okay.
Geo-routing, geofences, it's all there.
Okay, apart from Orissa, are you doing this kind of a mining related activities in any other state like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand?
No, it's all under process, okay? Let's see.
It's
Yeah.
only in Odisha you're
It's
doing.
only in the
How
Odisha.
long
Yeah.
have you been doing in Odisha?
It's almost 3 years.
3 years. So it's doing very well.
It's very well.
Okay.
And now it's almost 2 years we are associated with the Green Road. So yeah, so you are knowing aware about this Green
Talk
Road.
about Green Roads. I mean, how did this association with Green Road happen?
Yeah. So as I told you that we are more into solution. Okay. So we always try to give the best updated solution, updated services to our client. Okay. So we have been working on this driver behavior management. Okay. That how the driver behaves once he is driving the vehicle. Okay. Because if I remember, it's around 10 years back. Okay. 12 years back. Okay. I had a client, Gati.
Ah,
Okay. Gati. At the time I was working. Okay.
Narendra Agarwal.
Uh,
Hyderabad, Hyderabad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I don't remember the name. I know that CIO guy over there. So he was struggling with our solution. At that time, I was working for a company. Okay, he was struggling for that his objective. Okay, he was always dissatisfied. So I got a call from my team member, sir. The customer is not satisfied. Can you come and understand his requirement? Okay, I'm talking about 2007, I believe. So yeah. So I went to Hyderabad and I discussed that what is the issue over there. So what I found after the discussion that he is not interested in tracking and all, because they used to run a lot long vehicles, okay, 16 tire, 18 tires vehicle, okay. So the speed was very important for him and the route part, because once operator buy your vehicles, so there is lots of commercials involved in that one. They have a break even, and normally they make money in the last few years only, because initial few years goes for paying their EMIs and other things. Okay, so if the vehicle is not running for that appropriate duration period, then they are in loss. There is lots of example for that one. I can discuss on that part. So what used to happen if you are running a vehicle over the speed, then the tire burns. Okay, the maintenance goes high. So what will happen? Your break-even time will increase and you will end up in the loss. Okay, so he wanted the speed monitoring and the route monitoring. Okay, so normally what happened that if the driver is taking a truck from Hyderabad to Delhi, okay, and on the way he is having some stoppage, his own personal work and all these things. So he used to rush over there, stop there for 3-4 hours, and again over speed, just because he has to reach to the destination at defined time. So again he used to do the over speeding and all. So because now we understood the problem and all, then we started focusing on these things, and later he got satisfied. Okay, because we took everything on a rental model. After that, we said we got your point. Now let's not work on the OPEX model, CAPEX model. We'll offer you the OPEX model. We'll put our team and the hardware on the rental and all. And that's how I think still they are the customer for my own.
You're still servicing?
No, not with me, because now I started my own, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
The same example with the taxi companies, if you see, why the most of this private operator taxis, they made loss because of this reason only. You bought a taxi which has a life of 7 years, but within a 3-4 years, it is junk, because drivers used to drive at 120, 130, running for more than 10 hours in a day. So your maintenance cost goes high, your everything.
Okay, I mean,
So-
again, coming
so
back, what exactly was Green Roads?
So,
How is it
so,
done?
so driver behavior. So this is all happening because of the driver behavior only. So I was looking for a solution, a partner, not a solution partner, who can get this kind of a technology in India. So the Green Road, somehow they contacted us for some project. Okay, because we are also looking for. So we enter into an agreement where we are their implementation partner in India. Okay, so they have a client, or even we have some client where we are deploying their solution. So in that solution, you can actually see the driving pattern. Okay, beside the tracking, these basic telematic solutions you are getting. Okay, like the speed part, your acceleration,
Is it for the bus? What is it?
it is for any kind of a vehicles. Okay,
Like for the client, I mean, he's a bus operator
Or
or what is
mainly they are not bus operator. Mainly they are the logistic service provider. Okay, like courier company. Okay,
courier company?
courier companies are there.
Okay, with a sizable fleet.
Sizable fleets. Not again. These solutions go for the big clients. Okay,
Okay.
because lots of the commercials are involved, and it's not cheaper also, because you have to put high-end device, because they use gyro sensors. Okay, the installation is very tedious, not easy. So
So how long this particular project is running?
it's almost 2 years now.
2 years now,
Yes,
still
sir.
running.
It's still running. Yeah.
Okay, what is the size of the fleet or whatever it is you are managing for this courier company?
The you are talking about the Green Road.
Green Road.
Green Road is almost 200 plus. Yeah, we are managing.
Okay.
Yeah, and we had a good numbers committed by the client before COVID. Now it's on hold.
Okay. What are the challenges, Because
The
usually-
challenges is availability of the vehicles. That's the most important. See, if it is a new, then it's okay. But if you are already having a fleets, so getting those fleets, because these vehicles move all across India. Okay, so the challenges comes availability of the vehicles. Okay, and also not everyone understand the technology. Okay, so
So what is the reception, particularly from the drivers? Because since we are talking about a driver behavior, drivers usually do not like they being
No, you
monitored.
are right.
So
You
how
are-
do you overcome that challenge? It's a big challenge.
yes, sir. So again, it's not our responsibility. It's the user responsibility. Okay, we can give the input to the user. Now action they have to take. Okay. we can give the input. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You only diagnose and say,
Yes,
okay, this is the problem.
this is problem, now
The
you solve
doctor,
it.
takes care of that.
That's it. Yeah.
The owner takes care of that solution.
Yes. Otherwise, if you want to I can give you lots of output to the. While driving, also I can create alert for the driver. You don't drive so fast, or you are coming into the red zone or something like that. I can announce, but we don't do those things. Okay.
So as of now, you got only one client for Green Road?
No, we have
how many
around
clients you have?
4 clients we have. Okay.
Okay. Pan India again?
Pan India.
Okay.
But they are very strong in other country. Okay, because
Okay,
they are very strong in Singapore.
Any MNCs have got into this? Because MNCs always have, like a proclivity towards technology.
Yes.
So there is some MNC
This
clients?
MNC is there. MNC client is there, and then one automobile company is also coming on the board. Okay, and that they are OEM. Okay, so they are also coming on the board.
Very good. I mean, more and more automobile companies are also getting into in-depth
Yes,
telematics.
Telematics, yes. And now because of this AIS 140 deployment, you must be aware about the AIS 140. So what is happening that AIS 140 itself has a lots of capability. Okay, so if a transporter, even if is using the AIS 140 capability, is getting lots of data for his vehicle, and it is
So
very
you
useful.
go beyond AS 140.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
These are extended solution of the AIS 140. You can say.
That brings us to the end of episode 12 of Supply Chain India. Hope you liked it. Give your feedback, share it, subscribe. We'll be back with our next episode soon. Stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye.